به یاد چاک نوریس. اولین بار نام و چهره او را در نوجوانی شناختم. آن زمان که دانشجوی دانشکده پلیس بودم و در سینما امپایر تهران فیلم اژدها وارد می شود با بازی بروسلی را دیدم. در آن فیلم مبارز قدرتمندی حضور داشت که بعدها نامش برای میلیون‌ها نفر در جهان آشنا شد. چاک نوریس. سالها بعد با فیلم‌هایی چون دلتا فورس و آثار دیگرش قهرمانی را دیدم که نماد قدرت، انضباط و اراده بود. نسل ما با فیلم‌های او خاطره بسیار دارد و بسیاری از دوستداران سینما سالها آثار و سریال‌هایش را دنبال کردند. این ویدیو ادای احترامی است به بازیگری که برای دهه‌ها در حافظه دوستداران سینما و هنرهای رزمی جایگاهی ماندگار خواهد داشت.
Breaking news this Friday morning. The world has lost a true American icon. Chuck Norris, the legendary martial arts champion and star of Walker, Texas Ranger, passed away Thursday morning in Hawaii at the age of 86. His family confirmed the news today in a heartfelt statement saying he was surrounded by his loved ones and at peace. Chuck Norris was born in Ryan, Oklahoma in 1940 and served in the United States Air Force before discovering his passion for martial arts. He rose to global fame through iconic action films in the 1980s, including Missing in Action and Delta Force, before becoming a household name as Walker, Texas Ranger, a role he played for nearly a decade on CBS. His family said, and we quote, "He lived his life with faith, purpose, and an unwavering commitment to the people he loved. Through his work, discipline, and kindness, he inspired millions around the world." Chuck Norris celebrated his 86th birthday just 10 days ago. He leaves behind his wife, 5 children, and a legacy that will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, Chuck Norris.
On his Instagram, the following message, it says that it is with heavy hearts that our family shares the sudden passing of our beloved Chuck Norris yesterday morning. While we would like to keep the circumstances private, please know that he was surrounded by his family and was at peace. To the world, he was a martial artist, actor, and a symbol of strength. To us, he was a devoted husband, a loving father and grandfather, an incredible brother, and the heart of our family. He lived with his faith, purpose, and an unwavering commitment to the people he loved. The statement continues, through his work, discipline, and kindness, he inspired millions around the world and left a lasting impact on so many lives. That is part of the post to Instagram from the family of this man, Chuck Norris, a really famous actor. There's a huge following, especially for his martial arts that featured in many of his films, and his notorious reputation as being a tough man, one of the toughest men, but actually hearing that statement from his family, he was also a devoted husband, a loving father, grandfather, brother, and the heart of our family. That's Chuck Norris, the film actor, whose family has announced that he died yesterday.
Chuck Norris, my good friend from Bouldering. The whole gang is here. Chuck, this is your first WrestleMania. You and I had an opportunity to talk earlier. What are your impressions?
Well, they're great athletes. You know, there's no doubt about it. I've been watching it most of my life, wrestling, way back to the Gorgeous George days, in Argentina, Rocca, and all these guys. And they're just tremendous athletes. I've worked out with Hulk Hogan before. I did a movie with Professor Tanaka, so I know what great athletes these guys are.
Passed away recently. He was a big supporter. Yeah, yesterday, Chuck Norris, 86 years old, you know, the famous TV star.
Wow.
Yeah, he died in the hospital, I believe, in Hawaii, but he was a supporter of yours, a big actor.
Chuck Norris died. I didn't know that. He was a great guy. He was a really good, tough cookie. You didn't want to fight him, I can tell you. He was a tough, great guy, and he was a great supporter. Wow, that's too bad. Tell his family highest respect.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sir, Chuck.
This video is a tribute to the legendary actor and martial artist Chuck Norris. Some archival footage and images used in this video belong to their respective owners and are included for documentary and tribute purposes only. No copyright infringement is intended. A tribute by Mahmoud Kazerouni.
Today, the world mourns, but a family feels an even deeper loss. Chuck Norris wasn't just a legend on screen. He was a loving father whose strength was matched by his heart. Behind the action hero was a man who guided, protected, and inspired his children with quiet wisdom and unwavering love. To them, he wasn't invincible. He was home, he was comfort, he was everything. Today, a hero is gone, but a father's love lives on forever.
Clip of Chuck Norris.
God bless you all.
The world is in mourning today as it says goodbye to a true legend. Chuck Norris, the man who defined strength, courage, and resilience for generations, has passed away at the age of 86. In a message shared by his family, they expressed deep sadness while also honoring the incredible life he lived and the memories they were fortunate to share with him. He was more than just an actor. He became a symbol of discipline, power, and determination. From action films to his iconic role in Walker, Texas Ranger, he built a legacy that inspired millions to stay strong and never give up. For many, he felt larger than life, a figure of strength people truly believed in. Even beyond movies, his name stood for strength, respect, and legacy. If Chuck Norris ever inspired you, leave a heart in the comments.
And King Jesus makes him second in command after Saint Michael of the Legion of Angels.
Attention! Follow my lead!
86 years old. And a Jewish billionaire is about to tell you the one thing he understood that you still don't. He trained every single day until the day he collapsed. 86 years old and still throwing punches. Most people quit at 40. He didn't stop until God made him. But here's what everybody is missing. 10 days ago, he posted a video on his birthday, boxing, smiling. He said, "I don't age, I level up." 10 days between feeling invincible and being gone. You're sitting on your phone right now thinking you have time. You don't. You think tomorrow is guaranteed. It's not. Today is the only day that exists. Yesterday is a lesson. Tomorrow is a probability. The idea in your head right now, the business, the investment, the move you keep postponing. Every day you think about it instead of doing it, you are choosing illusion over reality. Action is the only thing that makes an idea real. And the only time to act is now. The only moment you own is this one, and you're wasting
Toughest
it.
man alive. But his greatest strength isn't his fists, it's his heart. Behind the action legend is a devoted family man who always put his loved ones first. Whether off screen or away from the spotlight, Chuck's true power came from love, loyalty, and being there for his family. Because even legends know, family is everything.
The whole gang is here. Chuck, this is your first WrestleMania. You and I had an opportunity to talk earlier. What are your impressions?
Well, they're great athletes. You know, there's no doubt about it. I've been watching it most of my life, wrestling, way back to the Gorgeous George days, in Argentina, Rocca, and all these guys. And they're just tremendous athletes. I've worked out with Hulk Hogan before. I did a movie with Professor Tanaka, so I know what great athletes these guys are.
Norris passes away. He descends into hell and defeats Satan in hand-to-hand combat. He then gives a martial arts demonstration, and King Jesus makes him second in command after Saint Michael of the Legion of Angels.
Attention! Follow my lead!
Did you know Chuck Norris isn't just a legend on screen, but a true dog lover at heart? Behind the tough guy image is a man who deeply cares for his furry companions, showing them loyalty, love, and protection. Because even the strongest heroes have a soft side, especially for their dogs.
Has come to an end. Today, the whole world is saying goodbye to the legendary actor Chuck Norris. Close family members confirmed that the iconic actor passed away today. He was 87 years old. His passing came as a shock to people all around the world. Just a few days ago, Chuck was sharing footage from his workouts, where he said, "I'm not getting older, I'm leveling up." He went from being an ordinary guy to one of the most recognizable actors in the world. A martial arts champion, a man who trained Hollywood stars, and then became a symbol of an entire era in cinema himself. His films and TV shows made him an idol for millions of people around the world. But behind the image of an unbeatable warrior was a big heart. For the sake of his ill wife, Chuck essentially stepped away from his career to be by her side during the most difficult time of her life.
He was the eyes of a ranger. The unsuspected stranger had better know the truth of wrong from right. You see him coming round the outskirts of town. Don't you ever take him for a ride. Cause the eyes of the ranger are upon you. Any wrong you do, he's gonna see. When you're in Texas, look behind you. Cause that's where the ranger's gonna be.
Fight between Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris wasn't real at all. In 1972, Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris filmed their legendary fight in Rome's Colosseum. It looked brutally real, bone-cracking kicks, raw intensity. Fans still argue who would really win. But here's the twist. They weren't rivals. Off-camera, they were close friends and training partners. Bruce Lee personally chose Norris for the role, choreographing every move. Even the famous chest hair moment? Totally intentional. It wasn't a fight, it was a performance. So who wins in a real fight? We'll never know. Both were elite, but Bruce was faster, more innovative. In the end, the real victory wasn't combat. It was creating one of cinema's greatest fights ever.
Boxer, okay? And you got the best martial arts guy in the world, and you put them into a ring. Who would win?
I've heard this question many, many times.
Well, what do you say?
Well, it's hard. That's a hard question to answer because, you got two of the best fighters in the world. The only advantage a kickboxer has is the fact that he's using 4 weapons instead of 2. A boxer uses strictly his hands, where a kickboxer would be using his feet, his knees, his elbows, and many different parts of the body as a weapon. But again, when you go against someone like Mike Tyson or Riddick Bowe, then if he lays a fist on your jaw, I don't care who you're gone.
So who would win?
I can't predict. There's no way to predict that.
Realized that just 24 hours before Chuck Norris's death, he sent heartbreaking messages of condolence to 3 of the stars of The Expendables. First, Sylvester Stallone. Their friendship began during a commercial shoot, as both rose to stardom through action films. Before his death, Chuck shared his vacation in Hawaii with Stallone and invited him to go together next time, a plan that ultimately didn't come to fruition. After Chuck's passing, Stallone shared a photo of the 2 of them on the set of The Expendables 2. Stallone expressed his condolences to Chuck's family, stating that he was a model of the American spirit in every way. Second, Dolph Lundgren. Chuck stayed in touch with Dolph after he was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer. Before his death, Chuck contacted Dolph several times to inquire about his health. Chuck also shared travel photos, hoping to cheer Dolph up. After Chuck's death, Dolph expressed his grief. Third, Jean-Claude Van Damme. His friendship with Chuck lasted for over 30 years. Chuck was always very concerned about Jean-Claude's health. After Chuck's passing, Jean-Claude expressed his condolences to his family on social media. May Chuck Norris rest in peace.
But to them it means the world. They wake up in the morning and wish you were there. Don't have to lie to gain their trust. You have never won a Nobel Prize.
Hi, Joe. Chuck Norris here. It's a pleasure talking to you. I see you're a very accomplished man. I want you to know that whenever you reach one goal, find a new one. Continue doing what you love. From one martial artist to another, keep up all the great work. Good luck on your orange belt test and keep striving for your black belt. You got this. Your friend, Chuck Norris.
There are men who are remembered. There are men who are mourned. And then there is one man who death had to ask politely and still had to wait. He was born in Ryan, Oklahoma, population 800. By the time he left, the town had already peaked. The Air Force stationed him in South Korea. He arrived as an airman named Carlos. He left as a weapon named Chuck. He lost his first 2 tournaments. Then he won 183 fights. Nobody talks about the 2. He once fought a man inside the Roman Colosseum. That man was Bruce Lee. It is the only fight in recorded history where the building was the 3rd toughest thing in the room. Steve McQueen, the coolest man in Hollywood,
studied karate under him, then told him to try acting. Even the King of Cool knew when he was standing in someone else's shadow. In the 1980s, Hollywood made action movies about him. He didn't use stunt doubles. Stunt doubles used him as a reference point. He played a Texas Ranger on television for 8 years. Then Texas made him an honorary Ranger for real. The badge was a formality. The state had been his since the pilot episode.
I'll let you go. Let me get this straight. You fight all of us. If we win, you let us go? That's the deal. What the hell is Walker doing?
He's trying to save the young ones.
Let's take them down, homies!
Who dabbles in martial arts. You are a true martial artist.
Yeah, that dabbles in acting. Growing up in poverty, and Mom was on welfare for over 10 years, but she never let any of that affect her in a negative way. She always kept a very positive image about life, saying that we may be poor, but we're rich in love.
We had each other. We had a lot of love. And this is all I ask.
And I've always remembered that. And she's always said that and always kept a positive attitude about life. And that kind of carried off in me, too. And I think that was some of the success of my life, is always kept a positive attitude about whatever it was I was pursuing. I joined the military police and the Air Force, and I was sent to Korea. And that's when I got my first exposure to the martial arts. I became fascinated with the Taekwondo system. And so I started training in it and made my black belt. Plus I studied judo on the weekends, and so I got my brown belt in judo. And after I was discharged, I went to work in an aircraft factory. And I wasn't making enough money to support my family. So I started teaching this martial arts in my mom's backyard. My motivation to become a competitor was to hopefully win some local tournaments and get a write-up in the local karate magazine and hopefully get students that way. Never envisioned me becoming a world champion. That's how goals are. You set realistic goals that you think you can accomplish. And once I won the LA Open, then my goal increased to the state. And then from the state to the national, and from the national to the international, and then to the world title.
Chuck won the World Karate Championship title 6 times in a row and retired from competition undefeated in 1974.
When I won the world title in New York City in 1968, Bruce was there. So we got acquainted and decided to work out together back in LA, and which we did for a couple of years. And then he left for Hong Kong to pursue a movie career. And I didn't hear from him for a couple of years. And finally, out of the blue, he calls me up. He says, I want to do a movie now with a fight scene that everyone will remember. And the fight scene will be in the Colosseum in Rome, like 2 gladiators fighting to the death. And he said, I'd like for you to be my opponent. At that particular time, I had no ambition to be an actor, but I thought it'd be fun to go up there and do this.
I still talk to the sky at night, whisper your name in the silver light, somewhere beyond where the stars begin. I hope you hear me calling again. In the silence where shadows lie, I feel the echoes of your gentle sigh. Amidst the dreams that softly dance, I find your presence in every glance.
Remembered foremost.
Can I answer that one?
Yeah.
Okay, let me answer that, because that is a great question. Can I read it to you?
Please do.
I think it's better when someone else talks about the other person instead of them talking about themselves. So if that's okay, let me honor you for a minute. So I know my husband, we've been married 21 years. We have 7 children and 13 delicious grandbabies. But I know my husband as a kind, honest, and humble man that would like to be remembered as a committed Christian, a man who loves his God, has loved and served his country, loves deeply his family and his friends, and has worked tirelessly to make a positive difference in the lives of at-risk children. Quite simply, you'll be known as a humanitarian forever.
Yeah, I have to tell you all, you know, when I first entered competition, my first karate tournament was here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah! Way to represent!
Yeah, in 1964, I took 3 of my students. I have my schools were in Los Angeles. I took 3 of my students and myself, and I drove my old car all the way to Salt Lake City to compete in this tournament. And they're beginning students. Anyway, I win my first 4, but my 5th one beat me. I said, okay, I got beat, but I'll never get beat the same way secondly. So my 3 students won all 3 of their championships.
And you ended Salt Lake City on a high note.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow? And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be for me, and the contacts would say thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a
Chuck Norris is going to be tested. We're going to look in the face of Chuck Norris. He's getting ready. Look, he's planting his feet. He's planting his feet. He's getting ready. But they stop. I think someone else is. That's pretty big roll. Oh, boy. We're ready to know that Chuck Norris is going to be challenged. X-ray. But these 2 don't interfere in the outcome of the matchup. Yokozuna's getting closer to being placed in the calf on his way down. He's looking good pass. Oh! Cross kick by Chuck Norris. MOJ tried Chuck Norris.
Say that, okay? You've said enough.
Oh,
Sorry about that, buddy.
hi. Hey, look at this. Chuck Norris.
Excuse me.
You think you're so tough, don't you?
Look, nobody's looking for trouble, okay?
Well, what's the matter? I mean, you're Chuck Norris. You're not supposed to take this crap from a dirtbag like me.
Please don't poke me.
You know what? Just leave him alone. He's not the Chuck Norris you think he is.
Oh, yeah? Not that tough in real life, are you?
Now be nice.
Hey!
My student, Steve McQueen, said to me, well, what are you going to do now that you're no longer fighting? And I said, well, I don't know. I'll probably just continue teaching. And he says, have you ever thought about being an actor? And I kind of laughed, So I said, but I'm kind of curious. Why would you think I could be an actor? He says, I don't know. Only the camera can tell. But he says, I just have an instinct that you could do well. So I start thinking about it. And I'm thinking, now I'm 34 years old, 16,000 unemployed actors, and they're only making $4,000 a year average. So I go back to Steve and I said, Steve, do you realize what the odds are on a person 34 years of age who has never had any acting experience of making it in this business? He looks me straight in the eyes And he says, I've been training with you for over 3 years. You said there's nothing impossible if you set your heart, set your focus on achieving it. I said, I get your message.
Well done. Not bad for an 87-year-old grandfather.
I'll take it.
You know what I keep thinking about?
What about it?
This AI thing they built down there. It doesn't just copy, it creates, it thinks, it makes things that never existed before. That used to be only what humans could do. It already writes, paints, composes music. It learns a person's voice, their face, how they move. It can reproduce anyone, anytime, any age.
It means nobody really has to understand what that means?
But think about what that means for us. For people like us, AI isn't just the body. It recreates the movement, the timing, the voice, the way a person thinks. We can come back in any body, any form we choose.
We already have.
They gave us back to the world.